All right, I think we're live. So we did it on time. We're on time. Andy Reid, who's not watching because we have no viewers right now. Aha, we did it on time. So welcome to Stand and Bang. I'm Aaron Robbins. Fred.
I'm Fred Kirby from the
All right.
DYT.
What?
From the DYT.
From the
Support.
DYT, which is cold as hell, just like Michigan right now.
You ain't lying, Jack. It is fucking freezing up here. Literally, it was like freezing rain last night. Like literally horribly fucking dangerous driving conditions and shit.
Oh no, it's just cold enough to die when you walk outside. Here it's -2 for real, and a wind chill is let's see, it says balls. Cold as balls. All right,
That's
so
it.
tonight we are going to cover UFC Sacramento or UFC Fox 22, and then we're going to talk about what we've been talking about for a while, the lunacy that's going on with everybody, and the whole Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather shit. I mean, even guys like Skip Bayless, Skip and Shannon are getting in on the whole thing. Enough is enough with this. What do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about that first, or should we do kind of a recap? Because we talked
Yeah.
about this on the phone, and I still 100% think that Sacramento was one of those great sleeper cards, maybe better than some of the pay-per-views for sure, for for a free card.
Yeah, most definitely. Let's go ahead and save the Floyd and Connor banter for the end, and let's start with the recap because you're right, man. And man, we talk about this all the time. It seems like this is the standard, right? Every time it's a card where people are like, oh, this is kind of lame, or it's going to be a whack card. It always ends up being a really fun, good card. And this was just like that. I mean, I guess it kind of had some popular names, but this was one of those weird situations where I felt like you had a lot of hardcore fans kind of like not really boycotting the card, but kind of shitting on it, like, oh, you got Paige Van Zandt's pretty ass in the main event, and then the Karate Hottie, which hasn't fought in like a year. And then you got fucking, the Paige and Sage show. So it's, it was easy to kind of shit on it from a hardcore fan's perspective. But it ended up being a pretty fucking fun card.
Yeah, definitely. Hold on a second. I gotta I have to. Yeah,
it ended up being a pretty fucking fun card.
Yeah, definitely. Hold on a second. I gotta.
Nah, so tech savvy.
I have to. Yeah, it ended up being a pretty fucking fun card. Yeah, definitely. All right, we back.
I don't know what the fuck that was, but that couldn't have been good.
No, it wasn't good. Apparently, I sent out the link to join the call.
Ooh, yeah, there you go. That's fucking awesome. We're gonna have fucking random creeps jumping on like, "What's up, baby? I watched the fights. Uriah Faber's kick ass."
All right, hold on a second here. Think somebody's trying to help us out here. Andrew just called me a tit. It's in the earlier tweets.
Yeah. Don't worry. We'll retweet it out after we actually get this thing down, and then we'll.
All right. Well, you talk about your opinion on some of the fights, and let me do some of this technical stuff. See if I can find where I did this here.
All right. Well, fuck it. Let's start at the top of the card with Sacramento, right? We had Paige Van Zandt and the Karate Hottie. Now, I personally thought that the Karate Hottie would win the fight. I thought she had a lot more experience. A lot of people made a big deal about the fact that she used to be an atom weight and that she was moving up in weight, but she's been off for a month of Sundays, and I had heard that she was like, kind of trying to put on a little weight and a little muscle to be able to compete at 115. And I don't know, I didn't never really think that she wouldn't be able to. She might have been a little small for the division, but that seems to be a good thing these days, right? Like cutting all this shitload of weight almost seems to be a thing of the past. Just fighting at a more natural weight and not having to cut that much weight and be super fucking healthy going in seems to be a good strategy. So I wasn't really worried about all that. And I've always low-key thought that Paige Van Zandt was a little overhyped. Her striking's always looked pretty bad. She's relentless, and I'll give her that, but that's always pretty much the only thing I really thought she had going for her. So, the fact that – let me ask you a question now if you've got that shit slightly figured out.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to retweet it. We'll see what happens.
Okay, how detrimental do you think this loss was for her? Do you think this completely derails her hype train, or do you think she can eventually get back on the horse and
For Paige?
come back from this? Yeah, for Paige.
No, I think this should have been an expected loss. Michelle Waterson has been around
It
forever.
wasn't.
She was she was an atom weight when there was no such thing as an atom weight. She was a champion, a woman's champion back when women's MMA was kind of like a novelty. She was on Bully Beatdown and all of this kind of stuff long before there was even like an idea of women being a serious thing. So absolutely, on paper and in theory and in practice, she should have destroyed Paige Van Zandt, and that's what happened. And that's fine. Paige is super young in her career, and she's very raw, and we've seen that. I mean, she had that nice switch kick on Rawlings, and that's something that she had practiced a bunch of times, and that's great. But that's a fluky, that wasn't going to be her every fight. And so if somebody like Michelle Waterson, with the experience that she has, didn't beat her, I think that would have been way worse for Waterson than the loss was for Van Zandt. Well, it must
Okay, but do you
because we have a viewer.
a whopping one viewer. But do you think that Paige will ever be a champion or ever compete for the belt? Do you think she'll ever be upper echelon, or is she a pretty girl that's decent or pretty good at fighting but will never actually make it to being great?
She's really young. I mean, I guess they could develop that raw talent, but no, I don't really see her rising that far in the division. She's a brawler. She's got a lot of energy. She's a brawler, but she doesn't seem to be putting it all together. Like, either she's super energetic and she can overwhelm somebody, but when she gets with anybody technical, Rose or Waterson, she's exposed really quick. So
I agree. She's super tough. I'll give her that, and I'll give it to her. She got the dog shit choked out of her. She didn't tap. She was willing to take a nap. I'll give her that. She's pretty, but she is a tough old girl. But yeah, man, I feel like her stand-up game definitely needs some fine-tuning. And Michelle Waterson even really had her way with her on the ground too. So she's tough, but she's definitely got some work.
Andrew, we don't have YouTube chat. If you would like to say something to me, just tweet. Like, you never stop tweeting. I'm Andrew Reed, something miserable, blah, blah, blah. Esoteric music you've never heard of, blah, blah.
All right. So that sums up the main event. Neither one of us are that surprised that the Paige Van Zandt hype train gets slightly derailed again. Moving on to the co-main event. Now, Mr. Sage Northcutt and fucking Pretty Mickey Gall. I don't think we talked a whole lot before the fight going in. Who did you think was going to win this fight? Who did you pick?
Gall.
Okay. Well, was you surprised that Sage was low-key lighting his funny ass up on the feet before Mickey threw that Hail Mary?
No, I thought if Gall couldn't get him down, because he always talks about his jiu-jitsu. I knew that was his game plan, and there was the chance that he was going to, eat the knockout punch on his way. But Northcutt's already been exposed by Barberina, which what a show that was. Fucking Covington versus Barberina. We can talk about that. Oh, God, I hate it when there's such a good card, and then you see Colby Chaos Covington just like a wet blanket come to slow that shit right down. But somebody like Barberina put Sage to sleep. He needs to get away from his dad. Needs to spend more time with the Diaz brothers, apparently. Get a little mean streak in him, maybe like a neck tattoo, something. And no, you know me, I'm never really sold on these big hype train guys. And that, Sage Northcutt's cute and all, but I think that's where it ends, Andrew Reed called me a fuckweeble.
That very surprising. Listen, I'll say a couple things, man. I'm kind of surprised at how bad Sage is on the ground. Cute little prick looks roided out of his mind. I thought he would at least be strong enough to bully his way out of some positions or something. His ground game leaves a lot to be fucking desired. That being said, I am fucking still kind of impressed with the kid on his feet. If he can fucking keep the fight standing, he has a bit of a fucking hurricane on his feet. He fucked up Mickey's eye pretty good, real quick and fast, like. So, but I totally agree with you about his dad. He needs to get away from his dad, get put in a training camp where they put him in bad situations and force him to evolve his ground game, or he will never make it in the UFC. He'll eventually fucking just get fucking done for.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I'm gonna see if I can pull up the card from last night here.
No, Aaron, Sage cannot kick him into an active volcano. Speaking of his dad, that would be rude. He just needs to go to an actual training camp.
His name, by the way, his name is Andy, not I'm Aaron. You're on the.
This is why I call him fucking English every time with you two pricks.
They're not even, the names aren't even close.
They both start with A. That's close enough for me. Andy and Aaron. Okay, like a couple fucking mean old Republican twats.
Unbelievable. All right, why don't we talk about some fights that were fun to watch? What did you think about the Wineland fight? Did you get to watch that?
No, Eddie of course Wineland, you would name one fight I fucking missed. I missed the Eddie Wineland fight. I wasn't home then. That was like on the super like Fight Pass prelims, right?
He's one of those guys, 35 years old now. Think enjoying it again. And he took Mizugaki right out. You should take a look at those early prelims.
Did he? Did he finish Mizugaki?
Yep. Took him right out.
Nice. I would have rotoed Eddie Wineland off, man. I felt like he had fallen into that lost battalion for me a little bit. But hey, I'll go back and watch that fight.
No, he knocked him out in the first round.
No easy task.
Knocked him out in the first round.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's not easy.
No, and then we had Smith and Aldana.
Oh,
what?
Fucking Leslie Smith. She knocked the snot out of her. Did you see that?
On more than one occasion. She got the snot knocked out of her like 3 times once they slowed it down.
That is fucking brilliant. Literally, the snot got knocked right out of her.
I don't understand the shit out of me. Came in, like, I don't know if you were watching the Vegas odds, but she came in, I wouldn't say a significant underdog, but she was the dog in the fight. And wasn't this Aldana's first fight in UFC?
Yeah, but I think Aldana had a lot of hype, man. Like, I wasn't really too hip to her, but everybody that I was talking to were saying that she was like a good striker and blase, and she had a lot of hype coming into the fight. And I mean, listen, we like Leslie Smith, but Leslie Smith is kind of a journeywoman, you know, tough as nails and not really great at one thing. I think a lot of people felt like it was going to be a stepping stone, but what the fuck? Leslie Smith came to fucking scrap, Jack.
Well, she's good at one thing. She's good at knocking the snot out of Aldana, which has got to be like, okay, Anthony Peroche, that one.
Yeah.
And then the dirt face that Rashad Evans pulled when he got knocked out. I'm sure that Aldana has got to look at those ultra slow-mos and be like,
yeah.
Seriously, guy in the truck, that's what you're going to show time and time again.
Right when the snot comes leaking out.
Yeah. Oh man,
that's embarrassing, man.
Hey, that's embarrassing, but that's what it is, right? That's how it is.
Congratulations to Leslie Smith, though, man. Like fucking coming in and as the underdog and looking good. Shocked the shit out of me, Jack.
No, she did really good. Which and then right after that was Emmett and Holtzman's. Did you catch that fight?
I did catch that one, man. I wasn't even really all that hip to either one of those cats going into the fight, though. But what the fuck?
Right?
What a fun fucking fight that was, man.
Yeah.
Nice and back and forth. Both guys landed a lot of shots. Really fun.
Really, really interesting how evenly matched they were. And Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman can really take a shellacking.
No shit, man. Both guys took some really big shots. Those are always really fun fights to watch, too, man, where both guys kind of hit on the other dude, but they fucking give a little back and forth. Super fun fight. Which one of the guys was from Cali? One of them was from Cali. Yeah. The crowd was erupting when dude was doing good. I fucking love it, man. That was a super fun fight.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see how Sacramento got behind all of the Sacramento people. You know what I mean? You'd kind of think with their whole liberal laissez-faire kind of thing, it wouldn't be that big. Ooh, boy, you're our person, but they really got into it. And a lot of times in fights like this, this is the best case scenario because two guys that are evenly matched just went at it in a dogfight. completely exhausted at the end. Both of them marked up. I think Holtzman got knocked down once. Is that right?
I think so, yeah.
Plenty of takedowns, a lot of action on the feet, pretty good action on the ground. Neither one of them were held down for that long. So that's one of those where they're evenly matched and it doesn't become a boring fight to watch. And then we had Mutasri and Morono. We had a couple of fun things to say. You remember this one, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
So Mutasri is, doing his thing for what, the first round and a half, and then Rano realizes, look, I can't stay right where his feet are going to keep smacking me in my face and my ribs, and decides to crush in on him, crush that distance. And what was your assessment? What kept Mutasri up there in the last round? Didn't you say something cute?
I forget. No, what was it?
Asians are tough as fuck.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, I'll give him that, man. He just would not fucking go down. The fuckers. But you know what, man? I've always expected better from him. The fucking Muay Thai background, the striker. It seems like every time he fights, I expect him to do some big shit with his credentials. Oh. And then he just never lives up to my expectations.
No.
Cute little prick. But he's tough. Tough as fucking nails.
That third round showed just how tough. I'm not sure. We've talked about this. I don't think that being durable is a skill. They always talk about that. They're like, boy, is that guy durable. You only get to prove that if somebody's beating your head in, which for about 4 minutes of that round, he was getting lit up. I mean, bloody and kind of out on his feet.
Yeah. Had
that space case look to him where it was like, is the ref going to take a little closer look at this? Just a little bit worried. But that I thought that one was going to kind of.
It's German. Did you see what that prick just wrote? Kiss my fucking ass. He's German. I don't say he's German.
So from Andrew Reed, we love you, Andy. Moonwalker is German. So Germans are tough. Which if you know anything about World War II, true statement. So anyways, you got anything else to say about that one?
No. He's a letdown for me. That's about it for that.
All right. And so then I'm going to take a minute to talk about this one here. I know a lot of people disagree with this. Guys like Colby Covington, I get it. You're a great wrestler. But for me, this is where I go and make my food for the evening. Like, I already get it. I know it's going to happen. If anything exciting happens on the feet at all, he's going to go in for the double leg. And he set like a new record. He got 11 takedowns or something in a fight. I don't want to hear about 11 takedowns.
No shit.
He's like, I want to hear about 11 knockdowns. You know what I mean? It's just every time.
It's the worst record ever to break.
Exactly. How many times can you dump a guy on his ass and then not finish him? That's different too, right? If you take a guy down and then you finish him, that's very exciting. If you just have to take him down 11 times so he can stand back up so you can take him back down, then you're starting to get into that whole, GSP. Thank you, Andy. Covington has improved his striking. You're right.
Yeah. My beard has improved too, Andy. Bull fucking shit with his striking ain't improved a cut hairs. And if it has, it's just because it sucked tremendously before. You're right, man. I'm sorry. Dudes like him bring the fucking card down, man. And I got no problem with wrestling or grappling, but you got to be looking for the finish or at least keep it fucking exciting, man. I can't stand fights like this where it just fucking sucks the air out of the whole fucking flow of the card.
Yeah, and that's what it does.
It's boring.
Yeah, it's a super exciting card. It grinds it to a halt. If you happen to have any casuals over at your house, that's when they start their yapper because there hasn't been anybody knocked out or choked out in 35 seconds. What is this? Why doesn't the other guy just stand up? Why doesn't he just stand up? Why does he let him hold him down like that?
Right. You already got to deal with that bullshit from these fucking casual idiots. We don't need no fucking fighters making it worse on us. Look, he's just holding them. They're just hugging.
Yeah.
Oh, man, drink your Bud Light and shut up.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. We talked about this before. Why don't you just stand up? Because there's another grown man holding him down. He can't. He can't just stand up. Oh, it's fucking ridiculous. Anyways, that fight kind of pissed me off, but that's how it is. What's Askren? Ben Askren.
Yeah.
Same, you know what I mean? Same category in there, same kind of guy. You know what you're going to get. It's going to be takedown after takedown, no finish. If it's a 5-round fight, you're there for a half hour. If it's a 3-round fight, you're there for 20 minutes. Just kind of tuck in, go make a grilled cheese sandwich, something like that. Go have fun.
But I'll give Ben Askren
so,
this. He makes me hate him.
What?
He at least evokes a little something, though. He runs that mouth. Colby Covington, I could a bit more care about Colby Covington fighting than the man on the moon. It just, I don't even get, if he gets beat up, so what? He doesn't even evoke emotion from me one way or the other. So
there's nothing, huh? All right. So what was your opinion on the Cole Miller and Hiroto fight?
Listen, Cole Miller fought like a man that was ready to get them papers signed by Bellator, Jack. We all know that Cole's been fucking unhappy as shit in the UFC for a month of Sundays. He's been doing interviews saying he wants to talk to fucking Ari Gold or Ari Emanuel, whatever his fucking real name is. I would fucking bet anything that the next time we see Cole Miller, it's in a fucking under the Bellator umbrella.
I was shocked. He has fought 20 times for the UFC. 20 times?
That's one of those like Conor McGregor type insults.
I cannot think of one fight I ever remember him being in.
Oh, gee, well, don't be fucking rude now. I can think of a few. Listen, he's been in some good fights. I can't remember all fucking 20. That seems a bit much, but...
All right, then recall one.
You don't need me recalling shit. I don't recall nothing, but I know... Okay, wait. Who has he fought? He's been in some fucking fun fights. Who the... Ain't his fucking nickname El Gringo? Who has he fucking fought? He's fought some. I'm telling you, man. Cole Miller's been in some fun fights.
Yeah.
I can't recollect off the top of my head.
He's unforgettable. I can remember zero of his fights, just like you, and it has nothing to do with the THC. You can't remember because he's never been in one of those fights. The only time Cole Miller has ever impressed me is when he didn't lose, because I'm fucking shocked. All right, here we go. Just
either way.
Now hold on, just to be academic. Well, let's see who he's fought. All right. He lost against Hiroto, and he lost against Caceres. There was no contest against Jim Ehlers. He lost against Max Holloway. You remember him fighting Max?
Of course not.
No. Okay. Hey, he won against Sam Cecilia.
Choke?
Andy. Oh, that's right. Didn't he retire Andy Ogle?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, I take it back. He is an awesome legend of the sport. I hope he retires to Bellator and does very well. He retired Andy Ogle. That's super important. Super duper important. All right, so
he had some okay fights, but yeah, I knew he was going. He had one foot out the door, man. So I mean,
yes, yeah, definitely. So then we get the debut of the Bear Jew.
Hey now,
yeah. Been waiting for this guy to get here. Good Scottish fighter. The Bear Jew up against De Silva. Got a gnarly armbar on him, and he looked good. But I like the Irish fighters. I like the Scottish fighters. Just no quit in them. And then they have really colorful post-fight interviews, which was nice. All intrigued about Sacramento. Very happy to be there. So
yeah, I was actually super impressed with that guy. No, actually, I didn't, man. I thought I wasn't too hip to him either going in, and I was a bit more familiar with De Silva and his big fucking brutish ways. Although a couple things here. A, was it just me or does fucking De Silva look like a big goofy Bruno Mars?
Yeah,
I swear he looked just like fucking Bruno Mars, but like big and dopey looking.
Yeah.
But I tell you what,
yeah.
the fucking Bear Jew.
Andrew, he's a Jew. It wasn't just because he was Scottish. I mean, stop splitting hairs here. Andrew Reid, fuck off supporting the Scots. is there anything that you ever hear that doesn't immediately fill you with disgust?
In all due respect, the Brits do hate the Scots. I think that's a thing with them. But I tell you what,
God damn.
Andrew Reid, you better get your shit together because the Bear Jew looked fucking good, right? His fucking striking was on point, and then he submitted that damn dude. And I fucking kind of like the fact that he didn't touch his glove in the beginning. Means he's fucking mean, Jack. He ain't there to make your friend. Dude fucking holding his hand out, fucking the
I'm
big
telling
little
you, man,
Mars
I
just
don't
got
know.
his fist up there.
You know me. I've been watching this sport for a long time. I'm not a huge fan. Like, okay, if you want to do a quick touch, fine. But there's fighters out there that want to touch every round, and after they get kicked in the junk, they touch, and then they want to hug if something happened real good. They're like, woo! Like, no, fuck you. Right away, fuck you. You're in a fight. None of this hugging and touching and kissing and shit. I've been in fights in my life, and I never wanted to shake hands after, ever. Even if I won. Fuck you. And if I lost, even worse. I want to fucking hug you and all that. I want to see a fight. I want them to remember they're in a goddamn fight. You know about it. You live in the slum.
Listen, exactly. That's why I've always liked the Diaz brothers thing. We can be slightly respectful afterward, but before that, fuck you, motherfucker. We're getting paid to fight each other. We're not fucking buddies or friends. Kiss my ass. That's why I signed on the dotted line.
Andrew wants you to remember that Scots are the Brits. You tit.
Yeah. And he also wants me to believe that fucking Australasia is a fucking thing. He's making shit up. Let me tell you something about Andy. He be fucking fabricating shit sometimes and making up fucking geographical bullshit. He's number one bullshit, Andy.
Yeah. Andrew Reid and his number one bullshit. Oh, man, that's too good. All right, so that was the prelims. Not bad so far, except for the Covington wet blanket action.
Mm-hmm.
And then this fight, boy, right here, Alan Jouban and Mike Perry. I was waiting for this one. I kind of thought that this was the unofficial main event. Mike Perry, just a savage, just the type of guy you don't trust around your kids or your wife or your money.
Or anybody.
Exactly. And he just keeps getting worse. Now he's got the little fucking cross under one eye and the signature above the other. He's just getting worse all the time. You could just see him listening to Lil Wayne and just being like, yeah, that's a good idea. I think I'll get all my metal teeth and do all this shit. And I'll tell you what, the fight went about how I thought it would if Jouban could keep his focus. The whole 15 minutes, I was waiting for that one punch where Jouban's eyes got all big and he got wobbly, and that was the end of it because fucking Perry's a savage and will jump on you. But it was a good lesson for Perry that you can't just be one-dimensional, and if you get a guy who has a multi-level game like that, a multi-dimensional game, and sticks to a game plan, the savage is going to lose.
Yeah, man, this fight was slightly disappointing for me. Now, don't get me wrong. I get it. You're right. Fucking Mike Perry is the type of dude, like I said on the Advocates, I wouldn't trust that dude in my bathroom alone. It's like the type of dude that'd sneak a bar of soap off you. All due respect, fucking Platinum, but you look snaky. But I do like the way the motherfucker fights. I'll give him that. He's got heart. He likes to stand in the pocket and bang. He makes the fucking fights exciting. And in his previous two fights, it ended up working out to his benefit. He was eventually able to drag those guys into his fight and clip them. But I'll give it to the pretty cocksucker Alan Jouban. He did not get drugged into that fight, man. He used those fucking kicks to keep fucking Perry honest. These two going back with the Scots and the Brits are killing me. He used his kicks to fucking keep him honest and keep him at bay with his hands a couple times. You know what I'm saying? When Perry got close, he showed him some real power. And it looked like most of the fight, Perry was just chasing him around, kind of getting countered. The sad thing about it, I think, is I don't know if Perry is going to be able to change his game enough to evolve from this. I think this might have been his ceiling in the blueprint. If you're an able striker and you can avoid the two or three fucking big shots he can throw, Mike Perry seems to be relatively beatable now.
All right. Well, Andrew Reid and everybody else on earth hates Mike Perry because apparently he is a homophobic, racist cunt. I didn't know that about him. I never met the guy.
Yeah. I heard the racist shit.
I didn't watch any interviews with him. He seems like the type of guy that would get snaky if you drank with him. That's the impression that I get, that you'd be like, oh, fuck, Mike came out tonight. Somebody's going to get smacked in their mouth because he's a dick. Now,
yeah, for sure.
he's that friend where you're like, oh, fuck, he didn't just order whiskey, did he? But as far as him having a ceiling, he's 25 years old. He's athletic. But with that attitude, my guess is his problem is that he is 100% uncoachable. You know that he's the gym dick. Nobody wants to spar with him. Nobody wants to teach him anything because he already fucking knows everything. It's that attitude, man. There's some guys that are infinitely teachable and they've got talent. And then there's other guys, and I'm guessing Mike Perry's one of those guys where unless he can pull you into an ugly brawl and touch your chin, you're probably right. You know, I don't see him going anywhere.
Not everybody can be a technical striker either, man. He just doesn't seem like he has a whole lot of finesse on his feet. He's good at making his, 2 or 3 strikes land and with a shitload of power. But, Alan Jouban showed the difference, what a legit good technical striker looks like with good footwork and good head movement against somebody who's basically just headhunting.
Okay, so this brings us to the swan song for Uriah Faber. Give me your what do you think about that?
I mean, other than maybe him jumping on him after he dropped him in that first round and getting a submission then, it couldn't have went better. I mean, he came out, his hometown. He had a very impressive performance against a relatively notable guy. I mean, it's not like they went and drug up fucking Jens Pulver or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it could have went much better, man. I think Uriah's getting out of this is the blueprint, right? This is how you do it, dude. You go out when you're still fucking speaking relatively well. He's still got a decent brand. He'll have tons of business ventures. He won the fight. He looked good winning it. What's he ranked number 3 in the world? I mean, yeah, Dominic Cruz had his number and he lost that fight to the one young up-and-coming cat before this. But fuck, man. This was ideal as a SWAT. I'll tell you what, the only thing that can fuck this up is if he comes back.
Yeah.
Don't fucking come back. If he stays gone, this is as good as it gets.
Another thing bothered me, and we talk about every now and then. Oh, Jesus. Scotch. They invented Scotch, Andrew. Anyways.
Whoa.
All right, Glenn Fittich. So anyways, and now watch, he'll correct me.
Of course.
We talk about doing segments. We're trying to get the show back going and get an audience again. We haven't been that regular, but one of the things that we've talked about is like the Twitter cunt of the week or something like this. And I saw a bunch. Now, I know it's always Jonathan Snowden for you two guys, which he was all like, woo, another year of Bleacher Report, the most irrelevant fucking sporting show ever, or whatever. Good job, buddy. But anyways, I saw several people talk about Uriah Faber not being a UFC Hall of Famer because he never got the UFC title. The WEC was absorbed into the UFC. Prior to the WEC becoming part of the UFC, that's where all these small guys, these exciting smaller weight classes had their showcase, and Uriah was king. King. I mean, you remember that, man? All that right before Mike Brown took him out. Before that, he was untouchable, super creative, super gas tank, super strong. That was the reason why people tuned in. He carried the WEC. As much as Chuck Liddell and Matt Hughes carried the UFC for a time, Uriah Faber was the WEC. You tuned into him. You knew that guy if you didn't know anybody else. So because he wasn't able to translate it in the UFC, that's inconsequential because as far as I say, none of these smaller guys would have the career that they do right now in the UFC except for that one guy. And he did it for what, 14 years? Was it a 14-year career?
Something like that, exactly.
Fighting at the highest level for 14 years. And like you say, 35 years old, still has a brain, still articulate, business ventures, team alpha male, the whole thing. Like you said, man, he's a fucking contemporary blueprint for what a fighter should do. Get in young, get out young, make a bunch of money, outside business ventures, retire when you want to on a high note before you become kind of like a joke.
Exactly. And you said, man, this is all all bullshit aside with Jonathan Snowden, that was the whole pickle I had with that dude a few weeks ago on Twitter. Like a month ago or something like that. Dude was like low-key shit-talking Uriah Faber, saying that he wasn't a UFC Hall of Famer, that he wasn't a legend of the sport. A, that's fucking disrespectful. B, he tried to come at me like, oh, well, you must have not been around for the WEC days. You're probably a new fan, which I thought was an ironic comment because it's like, bro, you're sitting here shit-talking a dude that invented the smaller weight classes. He built that shit back in the WEC. Ironically enough, I was a fan back then, and you're right. Dude, the WEC had one pay-per-view. Who on earth do you think headlined that? Uriah Faber against Jose Aldo. And let me tell you something. They didn't make that a fucking pay-per-view because of Jose Aldo. They made that a pay-per-view because Uriah Faber was a fucking star. A legit star.
See, the thing that I have a problem with, because I read some of those tweets, oh, you must be a new fan. But I watched the WEC. That's not possible. The WEC hasn't been around for years. And how about these guys? Jose Aldo. You remember him caving in Cub Swanson's head in 1 second? Where was that? That wasn't in the UFC. Jose Aldo became the killer that he is in the WEC. A lot of these guys, Francisco Rivera, a lot of these guys that we see now, that was all WEC. All of these smaller guys, all of the smaller guys.
Carlos Conda, even at 70,
there you go,
made his bones in the WEC. The WEC was one hell of a division back then, man. Or division, I'm sorry, fucking organization. But it's ironic that he would call me on that because if you think that Uriah Faber does not belong in the UFC Hall of Fame and is not an absolute legend in MMA, then you must have not watched the WEC back then. Because if you had, you would get it. And there's no argument. That dude did all that then and then came to the UFC. And yeah, he didn't win a belt, but he stayed relevant and at the top of 2 different divisions for the whole fucking time he was there.
Right. And the other thing, when you look at Team Alpha Male, you're looking at a fighter coach and a mentor, right? So go to Jackson, Winklejohn. They're coaches. They're coaches that make that team.
Right.
You go to American Top Team down in Florida. It's coaches that make that team. John Crouch, he's a coach. You don't see these guys that are both fighters and mentors and a coach building a huge team of, relative to unbelievably successful fighters. Now, arguably with Dillashaw, it took until Ludwig took over, but TJ took Dillashaw from nobody.
So he literally discovered TJ, took him off the wrestling mats and said, hey, there's this thing called mixed martial arts where you can get paid big bucks fighting. I mean, Uriah's got a good eye for talent too. Cody Garbrandt, Paige Van Zandt, Dillashaw, Alpha Male is a legit camp.
And in a sport where it's super easy to dislike guys because of their attitude, you might not like the way he fights. He might not have been able to get a championship in the UFC, but Uriah Faber across the board, likable guy, good athlete, solid fighter for 14 years. I was super happy to see him get the win over Pickett. I would have liked to see him get a finish, like you said, but it was a solid performance, one-sided, beat his ass the whole time. Good stuff. So congratulations, Uriah. I hope you stay gone.
Yeah,
all right,
exactly.
So the co-main event, which fucking, to me, this being the co-main event will show you how biased the UFC is. These are 2 guys that have combined, 10 fights altogether, 8 fights altogether?
Yeah, something like that.
It's not many. Faber could have gotten the co-main, the retirement fight. And for all of me, Joban versus Perry was more exciting than this. But there's a huge hype train behind Sage Northcutt. And Mickey Gall has become all of a sudden like this legend killer, right? He's the guy who took down CM Punk with 0 fights. And now he's the guy that derailed Sage Northcutt. Who gives a shit? The fight went pretty much like I thought it was going to. If Sage hit the mat, he's super green there because what is he? He's a karate champion. He's real flippy and he's real athletic and he's really good with the strikes and kicks. but Barberina exposed him. You know, I figured Mickey Gall with his legit jiu-jitsu skills, if he dragged him down to the ground, don't take this the wrong way, but Mickey Gall dragging Sage Northcutt to the ground is kind of like Damian Maia dragging anybody else on earth to the ground. There's such a disparity in skill there. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I'm not comparing Mickey Gall to Damian Maia. But if Sage
No, I
hit
see
the
what you're
ground,
saying, though.
you know, and you know, it's been time and time again, you know, like there with Ronda's coach. What's that doofus's name?
Edmund Tarvarian.
Yeah, there you go. She's still doing this weird thing, you
With her
know, and they're like,
hands
oh,
looking like
she's
she's gonna
coming
break her
back.
wrist when she throws a punch.
You can't, in most cases, you can't have your old man take you the whole way. Hey, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. But look at like KJ Noons, same thing with that dad coach. After a while, you got to be like, you know what, Dad? It's cool. I like hanging out with you in the garage and having some beers, but I'm going to go hire a professional team to take me a little bit further. And at this point, Sage really needs to do that if he's going to continue any sort of serious career. Thank you, Andy. They have a combined total of 12 fights.
Yeah. I've also heard some. There were some horror stories going around before about something in Sage's training camp where he had a Muay Thai guy come in, and his dad was, suggesting that they spar lightly or something like that. They got really upset with the Muay Thai guy for going a little too hard on Sage, and I don't know. It was a whole big story that had came out not too long ago. So I think a lot of people basically feel like Sage needs to get away from his father in order to fucking bring his game up to where it needs to be, or he'll never be able to compete in the UFC. And he'll just be one of those ultimate big, busts.
But I mean, let's just break him down though. Obviously talented, right?
For sure. A very talented striker.
Yeah, great attitude. And if you're talking about just like genetic material, it seems like if he was absorbed into a camp that could shape him, he should be something, right? I mean, not everybody gets lucky with that kind of just genetic build.
Yeah, well, listen, you know what? Fuck it. This is how we do the goddamn thing on Stand and Bang. I'm going to keep it straight fucking with you. I think that little boy's roided out of his mind, Jack. I don't think there's no coincidence that his daddy got caught for roids or was in a steroid ring or whatever the fuck that shit was. I'm sorry. I feel like there's just, I don't know, man. So many people get caught cheating nowadays. I feel like anytime I see a dude that's built like Sage, it's fake. Like, that dude literally looks like fucking G.I. Joe. He looks like he's been built like that since he was 7 years old. Look at the contrast.
He has been.
Of course he has. They've been putting steroids in his fucking milk since then. I guarantee it. There's no fucking. Look at Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall was fucking lean, mean, fighting machine. What the fuck? Had an 8-pack, slim looking dude, nice and strong looking. But when the fucker went like this on the scale, a little muscle jumped up. You know what I'm saying? You can tell he was strong. When fucking Sage Northcutt went like that, it looked like a goddamn bowling ball was in his bicep. Fucking biceps jumped past his shoulders. No fucking way, man. I'm sorry. I think that kid is.
Dude, you and I have talked about this a million times. We think everybody's on the sauce. I think everybody's juicy.
Fuck,
just
they
like
are.
The fucking Diaz brothers, dude. I think the fucking professional athletes use juice. It is what it is. USADA come in and everybody's skin color changed. That's how bad that shit was. USADA started surprising them at fucking 5 a.m. and brown guys turned gray and tan guys turned white. It was the craziest shit ever. I don't know how much juice they're using, but a lot. Anyways, Andrew Reed, fact checker. Apparently, that whole Muay Thai thing was up in Canada with Faraz Zahabi. Tell him to take it easy on the Muay Thai guy. Yep. And I do remember those stories, and I can legitimately see that. You know what I mean? Just it's stupid. It's trial by fire, man. What is that? Iron sharpens iron or whatever. But apparently not with old Sage Northcutt. It's apparently steroids in his Cheerios. So we still have enough time to bullshit about that last.
Hold on.
What?
Mickey Gall called out fucking Dan Hardy after the fight. First off, how do you feel about where Mickey Gall can actually go in the division, and what did you think about him calling out Dan Hardy?
I think it's like his 4th fight or something. I don't know where Mickey Gall's going to go. right now they're throwing him softballs. You can't go by the CM Punk fight. That's ludicrous. Anybody would have beaten CM Punk.
Right.
Him beating Sage Northcutt definitely raises his stock. Do I think he needs a top 15 opponent right now? No. It's his second fight in the UFC. Fucking of course not. Earn it. Just like everybody else. And calling out a guy who's never going to fight again, Hardy can't get cleared medically. And even if he does, do you think he's going to be relevant? Why not? I mean, that's just stupid. Don't call somebody who's not even on the fight roster. The whole thing was stupid. Just get another fight, shut your cute mouth, and, you know, go on with life. So we still have enough time to talk about the whole ridiculousness that we wanted to do. Let's just quickly go through the main event. For me, on paper and in practice, this fight went exactly like it should. A savvy veteran shut down an upstart. Plain and simple. Waterson's been around forever. She's got great technique. She's got a great camp. And she took out Paige Van Zant, who is cute.
Yeah. For the most part, I mean, this is pretty much how I thought the fight would go. I thought that Watterson would eventually win the fight. I thought that all of her fucking wealth of experience would eventually win out. And I think Paige Van Zant was a little overhyped, to be honest with you, man. Like you said, she's a good-looking broad. But basically her best attribute was like stamina and being relentless. Like, she landed that fucking switch kick on Beck Rawlings. But like I said, man, she had thrown that kick like 5 different times in that fight and didn't come nowhere close. I hate to call any strike a lucky strike, because if you throw it at somebody's face and it lands, there's nothing lucky about that. But that's as close to a lucky strike as you get, man. I don't think she's going to be landing that kick on nobody fucking else. So I thought she was overhyped, and I think people probably have forgot because it'd been like a year since the Karate Hottie had fought. So
right now, do you remember how she looked against Rose?
Yeah, not great.
Not great. She looked good against, what's the other blonde now that's by and large disappeared after she sucked at the American Ninja twice?
Felice Herring.
There you go. But see, we talked about this. That whole strawweight show was just full of non-talent. And so for her to steamroll a few of them, no surprise. But when you get with true talent, Rose Namajunas, Michelle Watterson, veterans, or just gals that have got raw talent. You're right. There's some of them that shine, and they're going to be champions in their division. And then Paige, she's got a lot of talent, and I think that she's teachable, but she's really raw, and they need to figure out what she's good at and focus in on that. But overall, for a free card, I give this like a 8.5. Super exciting, a lot of finishes, and it finished early. It was done at what, 10:30? How nice is that?
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Really great pacing. I thought it was awesome that it started a little early, so it wasn't so fucking terribly late when it went off. Yeah, man, if it wouldn't have been for the fucking Colby Covington let down there in the middle, this is a fucking solid card. 8.5, 9 all day.
Yeah, there's always going to be that. All right, so now we used Conor and Mayweather in a very shameful way. Hopefully that'll bring views into the show. But seriously, we've talked about this how many times. Everybody's got to stop with this comparison. It's fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Conor has been relevant for what, 18 months? Something? In a sport,
something like that.
In a sport, let's be honest, in a sport that nobody gives a shit about. Really. You ask most people about MMA and they're like, is that like wrestling? No, it's not like wrestling, but whatever. Then you got Floyd Mayweather, 8th division champion, never been beaten, 20-year career. No, Floyd Mayweather would destroy Conor McGregor. And Skip Bayless. Fucking dude looks like the love child of Maury Povich and the Crypt Keeper. Talking about Floyd Mayweather couldn't slap the shit out of anybody. I wish Floyd heard that and walked on the stage and slapped the shit out of Skip Bayless. How disrespectful.
Yeah, I mean,
disrespectful.
About this, I think that fucking that damn dude was just trolling. I can't imagine that dude thinks that Conor would actually beat Floyd in a boxing competition. Come on, man.
See, that's the thing though, is you get these MMA heads too who are like, well, Conor beat him in the cage and Floyd had beat him in the ring. Floyd never said he wanted to get in the cage.
Right.
That's a moot point. He's never said, "Oh yeah, I beat him in a ring and a cage." Yeah, okay, fine. A fucking matador isn't going to do any good at ice hockey. We fucking get it. But the idea is that but fucking Conor has said he would beat Floyd Mayweather, arguably the greatest modern boxer in history. And people are entertaining this. That's my problem. Not that it's just been brought up. It should have been brought up and been like, no, don't be stupid. Professional analysts are let's pontificate on this theoretical fight. Man, fuck you. You should get your card pulled for that shit. It's ridiculous. Mayweather would turn him into fucking hamburger is what would happen. And now it's just everything. I'm surprised that they don't have Conor fucking trying out for basketball and something. Like, oh, he's pretty fast. Got good footwork. He's probably good at basketball too.
I will say, man, like I said before, Floyd's the one that keeps this shit going. He's the one that posted the video to his Instagram. He's the one that FaceTimed Nate Diaz and was talking about the fight and all this. I kind of wonder what Floyd's game is. Or maybe the Brick's just bored and wants the attention and just wants to fuck with people because, you know, Floyd sure as shit ain't getting in the cage. And I mean, let's be realistic. We all know how WME gets down. WME ain't letting Conor do shit. Maybe if it was Uncle Dana and Uncle Frank, they could have some Scotch Irish whiskeys and Conor could con them in to letting him go off and do what Conor wants. Fucking Ari Gold from Entourage is going to be like, nuh-uh, Jack, your ass is mine.
Yeah. It's just the
me,
it's got completely out of hand. And now the other thing that's really got me irritated with this whole situation. Well, you know, and I did find it funny. If anybody's watching this or you do watch it, go watch the videos with Paulie Malignaggi. I know that Fred didn't know who he was, but he's a two division champ, solid boxer, good guy, retired now. He does an analyst thing, and he's talking about how Conor probably couldn't even win the Golden Gloves, an amateur, and he's probably right. Just pure boxing. Conor's a left hand that's hidden behind all sorts of neat looking stuff. But that's about it. Now I want to talk to you about how irritated I am with all of this interim bullshit because Conor won't defend a fucking belt. Jesus Christ, now 2 weight divisions, interim titles, and I'm going to take 10 months off to have a kid and all this. Like, oh my God. You know what my true wish is? My true wish is that he has a healthy, beautiful baby and then comes back after 10 months with all sorts of ring rust and loses like 4 teeth in his first fight. I truly hope that for him. I really do. Irritating.
Listen. This is not fucking Conor's fault, though. The UFC going off the rails with this goddamn fucking interim title shit. I mean, they're just throwing them out there willy-nilly for everybody. There was no fucking reason to make the goddamn Max Holloway Anthony Pettis fight a title fight. I mean, now what
yeah,
literally,
especially since that
3 months later
couldn't make weight.
Yeah, well, obviously, but I mean, what February 11th, right, is when Jose and Holloway are going to fight.
Sure, why not?
I'm pretty sure it's in Brooklyn, February 11th. It's fucking like 62 days later. Why the fuck would you make an interim belt when you're literally going to have those guys fight in like 3 months, the next almost damn near available spot?
Yeah,
it's completely irrelevant. What's funny is, to me, I wonder, like, well, one would say the reason they're doing it is because it adds intrigue. Belts mean more pay-per-view buys and shit. But ask yourself, does it? Or who is that impressed with an interim title? They were like, hey, we wasn't going to buy this card for an interim title. We better get this one now. Like, does that thought process hold any kind of weight at all?
No, not for me. Interim belts are garbage as far as I'm concerned. My main concern, and Andrew Reed said, if anybody who watches this, also watch Sanchai's comments on the Potato Goblin. I'm going to have to do that myself. I have 2 concerns about this. The interim belt, maybe it does have some intrigue. I don't know. I don't like the fast turnaround. Like, I get it. Max is hot. To me, I don't know. Because before he got slept in 13 seconds, Jose Aldo was an animal. I mean, is an animal. His last performance, he did great.
For sure.
He was back to the Jose of old. Conor got in his head like Conor does, and he got slept in 13 seconds. Okay, but that doesn't take away what he was prior or how he is now. I know Max is a good fighter, but Jose Aldo is an amazing fighter. It seems like to me I'd want a little bit more injury repair and a little more time to prep for a guy like Jose Aldo, but
Nah, man, maybe, but I kind of like it. I think he's hot. I think he's on fire. He's doing good. He's confident. If he's gonna do it, I don't believe in God or fate or destiny or none of that shit like that. But I don't know. It feels like it's Max's time. If he's gonna win against Aldo, who is a fucking beast, go for it right now while you're hot and ready to do it. Unless he has any like injuries that he's keeping from. As long as he feels healthy physically, I think he should go for it, man.
okay. What do you think about the 10-month layoff?
Say what?
The 10-month layoff. Isn't it going to be Nurmi versus El Kakui for an interim belt too?
Of course. I mean, as long as that fight comes together, yeah, they're supposed to make that for an interim belt too, which is, again, pretty fucking stupid, knowing the winner of that fight will fight Conor on his return fight. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. Conor, I've turned a corner on him. He's interesting to watch. That's true. I don't like how he's holding up the divisions, and he's never yet defended a belt. That's going to be really interesting. He's won multiple. He has won multiple belts and has never defended one. So I guess we're going to have to wait until next year. So I think we're getting pretty darn close to the hour mark. Yep, 55 minutes. So
okay, quickly then. Get your opinions on something fast. Then we got 5 minutes here. Let's do some quick hits. A, how bad is Cody Garbrandt's trash talk?
Oh yeah, I forgot we were going to talk about this. I never had to chase pussy.
I low-key didn't get it. I was like, huh? Like, Dominic's response to that was mine. Like, what, bro? I didn't get it. Now that you mention it, I get it now, but what the fuck was that?
He's thinking, he's going to be chasing him around. He's chasing a pussy. Real good. I'll tell you what, it's tough. It's tough to shit talk somebody who's intellectual. Dom was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I bought a house with the guys that I've whipped from your team.
Oh, I swear I fucking was. That was Conor McGregor level shit right there. I bought a house off of beating your coaches. Whoa, shit, that was good.
After a while, like when he was like, did you see how I let you talk there? That's how a gentleman acts. After a while, when you're that outclassed in a war of words, just stop. Answer the questions when you're asked. Stop interacting with the person because you just look worse and worse and worse. Like, what's his name there? Jeremy Stevens coming on like 3.5 hours later from Applebee's going, yeah, if I'd have been thinking right, I'd have said something funny to Conor too.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So now, his trash talk obviously sucks. Quickly, before we got to wrap this up, 2 fights that are coming up. We probably won't get a chance to talk about them before the end of the year. The fight that we're talking about right now, Cruz, I pretty much am pretty sure how you're going to lean on that, but give me a prediction on that, and then just go ahead and give me what you think happens with the return of the great Ronda Rousey.
I think that Dominic Cruz destroys Cody Garbrandt. I think he makes him look real bad because he's a smart enough guy to take Cody out of his comfort zone. He is not going to stand in rage and let Cody box. There's not going to be any of that. He's going to make Cody miss. He's going to get him on the ground, and he's going to do what he does. It might be a boring fight, and it might be frustrating to watch, but that's what I think is going to happen. He might even sleep him on the ground. He might even sleep him on the ground.
I agree.
And as far as Amanda Nunes, Joe Rogan said something interesting. All of the promos are about the challenger, none about the champion, which is disturbing, but it also shows you the promotional side of it. Unless Ronda goes back to her hip toss armbar routine that got her there, if she thinks she's going to stand and trade with Amanda Nunes, she's going to go to sleep again.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and surprise a lot of people here. And I think she is going to do that, actually. A lot of people I see are and I see why people think that Amanda Nunes is just going to run through Ronda Rousey. I think that you're going to see the Ronda of old. I think you're going to see a couple little horse shit strikes, and she's going to bum rush her, shit whip her to the ground, and win by armbar in the first round.
That's what I told you. If she's going to win, that's what she has to do. And I think that's what she should do. If she wants to go out on top, she needs to go back to the blueprint that won her the belt in the first place. So we'll try to have another show before all that stuff happens. If not, no surprise. But anyways, for the 1 or 2 people that watched live, thank you very much. Hopefully you get a little more viewers on the repost or whatever. So anyways, I'm here with Fred. You are at Kirby_MMA.
Yes, sir.
On Twitter. Yep. And I'm at Doc Robbins _MMA, I think, or something on Twitter if you want to say hi to us. Thanks for joining us. And we'll try to get the technical stuff down for next time.